Alright guys, now we want to make it so that we can add listings from our dashboard. Now what I'll do is put a button up here to add a listing, and we should already have the route for it because we're using our listings as a resource. So if we say listings slash create, that's actually loading the create view, which I don't have. What is this loading actually? Let's go to controllers and what the hell? Listings controller create. So it's calling this function. So if we were to return 1, 2, 3 and reload, we're going to see 1, 2, 3. But what we want to do here is load a view. So let's say return view, and we'll call this create listing. Okay, so let's save it, and then we'll go down to views, and let's say new file, create listing .blade.php. Alright, now we're going to extend the layout file, so this app.blade right here. So let's do extends layouts. This needs to be in quotes, and then layouts.app, and then we need our main section, so at section content, and then just end section. Okay, and let's see what we want to do here. Let's look at the other templates. So for instance, the dashboard. Now this dashboard actually has the container inside of the template. I want to put this in the layout so that we don't have to keep repeating it, and we can put messages and stuff inside the container. So let's go ahead and get rid of that along with the last div like that, and then we'll save it and go into our app.blade layout, and let's put it right here, right around the yield content. Alright, so if we go back to the dashboard, it should look the exact same. Alright, let's see, what else do we have here? We want to do it for the auth as well. So for the login page, let's also remove the container. Last div. And then we can just tab this back if we want. Alright, so that's login. Let's do the same for register. Alright, and I think if we go to passwords, yeah, here to email, get rid of that. Okay, and then for reset.blade, same thing. That should be the last one. Alright, so now these will still have a container, it's just that the container is in the layout instead of each view. Alright, now let's see. Let's go back to create listing, and I'm actually going to copy from the dashboard this code, so from the row all the way down, because we want these to be formatted the same way. Alright, and then we'll just change this here to create listing, and then in the body we're going to have the form, so we can just get rid of everything that's in here. Okay, now for the forms we're going to be using Laravel Collective, so let's go ahead and let's install that. So we'll say let's see, composer require, and we're going to do Laravel Collective /HTML and version 5.4.0. Alright, let's run that. And then we need to add the providers into the config file. I can't remember exactly what that is, so let's take a look. Okay, so we just ran the installation, So in providers, we want this. So let's go to, it should be config app.php, and we'll go down to the providers right here. Let's put that right there, and then we also need to add to the aliases these two lines, which we'll put right here. Save that. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. So that should be installed. Now I also want to make our own form components. So for that we need to create a form service provider. So let's say PHP artisan make provider, and then this is going to be form service provider. Alright, and we'll have to add that to the config as well. So in this file, let's go up here and let's add app/providers, and we'll say /form service provider. Oh, and we need that class at the end, ;class. Alright, and let's see. Let's save that and then go to our form service provider. And in here, we're going to say use form. And then we need to register the components. So I'm going to just copy and paste this into the boot function. Okay, so we have form component BS text, which will be a bootstrap text field, text area, submit, and hidden. All right, now we want to save this and then go down to our views, and inside the views folder we're going to create a folder called components. Alright, and then inside there we'll have a folder called form, and then we need each of these in a file. So let's say new, and we'll say text.blade.php, and let's see, let's create text area.blade.php. This one will be submit, and then this one will be hidden. Alright, so let's start with hidden. We're just going to put in our double curly braces and then form hidden, which will take in a name, value, and attributes. Okay, close that up. Now let's go to our submit. So for that, let's put in a div. Doesn't need a class. And let's see, form submit, which will take value and attributes. All right. And then let's go to text.blade, and I'm just going to paste this in. It's a little longer. So we have a div with the class of form group. We also have the label and then the text, which takes attributes, and we're just adding on a class of form control. Alright, so we can actually use this for the text area as well. We just need to change this to text area. So let's save this, and then we can finally go back to our form, which is create listing. And I'm going to paste this in just to save some time. So we're opening the form with the action of listings controller store. Method is post. Then we have our text field for the company name, for the email, the phone, the address, and then a text area for the bio, and then the submit button. Alright, so let's save that and go back to let's see, we want to go to /listings/create, and there's our form. Alright, but let's put a link in the dashboard. I want to put it up here. So if we go to dashboard.blade, and we're going to go in the panel heading right here, and put in a span tag and give it a class of pull right. Alright, and then inside the span we're going to have a link. Okay, and that's going to go to /listings/create. Alright, and let's also give it a couple classes. So we want btn success, which will make it green, and then btn xs, which will make it extra small. Alright, and this will just say add listing. Okay, there it is. Click that, brings us to the form. So it's going to get submitted to the store function. You know what, let me wrap this so you guys can see the whole thing at all times. We're going to just do toggle soft wrap. There we go. Alright, and let's see, what we'll do is go to the listings controller and go to the store. And let's just test it out, make sure it actually gets submitted to that. So if we go over here and submit, we get 1, 2, 3. That's good. Alright, so we want to validate. Basically, all I want is the name field to be required and the email to be an actual email. So let's do this validate, and in here we'll pass in that request and then an array of rules. Okay, so we want to say for the name that's going to be required, and then the email, I mean, I'm not going to set the email to required just because this is a listing, it's not a registration. We already have the user's email and registration. This is kind of a company email type of thing, but I do want it to be a valid email. Alright, now if those fail, we're going to get error messages, but we're not going to see it. So what we need to do is go into our views folder, and let's create in there a folder called inc, where we can put includes, and we're going to say new file messages.blade.php. Now this I'm just going to paste in. So basically this up here has to do with errors. You can see we're just looping through the errors, outputting them with a div of alert and alert danger, which will make it red. Here we have success messages, and here we have I guess self, you know, when we create the error ourselves, we can send it out here. Alright, so let's save that, and we want to include that in the layout. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I put the container in the actual layout, because I want to put that here. Otherwise it's going to go all the way across the screen. So let's say include, and we want inc, because we're in the inc folder, dot messages. Save that. Alright, so now if we were to reload this form, whoops, and try to submit, and there we go. So we have the name field is required and the email must be valid. Good. That's exactly what it should be doing. Now once we pass validation, we want to create our listing. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a listing variable, and we're going to set that to new and then listing. Let's make sure we included that up here. No, we didn't, so we'll just have to say use app/listing. Okay. Otherwise you'd have to include, whoops, you'd have to include app here. So now that we have that variable, let's start to add some stuff to it. So listing name, and that's going to come from the form, which we can get with that request, and then input, and then name. Alright, we have a few of these to do, so let's go ahead and just copy this. Alright, so we have name, we have email. Oh, you know what? I don't think I put website on the form. No, I didn't, because initially I wasn't going to include that, but let's do that. So we'll just paste this in, and this will be website, and let's say company website. Alright, back to the controller, and let's make this one website. Okay, then we'll have email, then phone, and what else? Address, and bio, which, did I put that on the form? Yeah, I did. Okay, so the last thing we want is the user ID, whoops, which, let's say listing user underscore ID, which isn't going to come from the form. We're going to get it using this auth user and ID. Okay, that should give it our logged in user's ID. And then we simply need to save. So we'll say listing and run the save function, and then we'll redirect. So we'll say redirect to, we'll redirect to dashboard, and then we just want to send along, a message. So right here, let's just say with, and say success, and then the message we want, which will just say listing added, and that should do it. So let's save and let's give it a shot. So let's say, I don't know, 123 designs, 123 designs test.com. Email, we'll just say support at 123 designs test. Contact phone, address, we'll say 30, I don't know, 30 School Street, and let's just say, I don't know, Lynn, Mass, place I was born. And then about the business, this is a cool design company. And submit. Oh man, what's going on here? The page cannot be found. Oh, I spelled dashboard wrong. Well, hopefully it still went through. Let's go to the correct link. And there it is, 123 designs. So I just need to fix this. I'm sure you guys spotted that out. Alright, so now we can add listings. So what we'll do in the next video is we'll make it so that we can edit our own listings. Okay, so that's what we'll get into next.